So, for those who don't know me, I'm gonna to start with who I am. So I'm Ngakpa Konchok Jade Sodan. So I took my Ngakpa vows with Karchen Rinpoche 9 years ago. And later after that, I've decided to open akavidaraja.com to help people. I've started with a simple blog. And today I've decided to start helping more people by opening the channel. I don't have been posting video for a very long time because I wanted to recenter on what I wanted to do for that channel, and my objective is to help as much as I can people. So in the Ngakpa tradition, usually we tend to help people, we teach, we do all those kind of things. We are not lama in a state form, but we are yogi, we are teacher, we are here to help others in a sangha, not just in a sangha. So today that teaching is a big teaching for me because that's a way of sharp weapon. I've promised that teaching for a very long time now, and that teaching personally have been given for me by Tsemtoko Rinpoche, and have helped me a lot. Lama Zopa Rinpoche on Kelupas used to say that teachings that solve your job problems, that solve any problem, because taking care of our karma, we're taking care of others. So yes, the way of sharp weapon is a teaching on karma, but not just that. That's also a teaching of bodhisattva. I could say that's pretty much like the bodhisattva practice. That's a teaching that helps us to understand cause and effect. So that's made by Dharmaraksita with Atisha teacher. So you're talking about Lojong. So what is Lojong? That's a Mahayana training, a mind training. That's part of the foundation. So I've seen a lot of people on my post saying, yeah, vajrayana is the best to practice, blah, blah, blah. Yes, okay, no problem with that. But without foundation, you cannot practice any vajrayana at all. It's very important to understand that without what we call the nandro, without the foundation of study and the foundation of practice, you cannot practice vajrayana. Also the little trick about that's Mahayana and vajrayana are are in one vehicle. But that's for another video. So today we are on the way of sharp weapon. So what is the way of sharp weapon? So that sounds not very Buddhist, because that's talking about weapons, that's talking about something sharp. So when Dharmaraksita have write that teaching, that was to understand the cause and effect and understand also what is karma. And when we talk about that, there is, according to Kempo Shoga Rinpoche, karma is thought. So good karma is good thought, bad karma is bad thought, neutral karma is neutral thought. But you got to ask me, but how come my thoughts do reflect on the universe and become what I live in everyday life? Is on a spiritual level, you can say that's because Buddha nature is everywhere. So each time we relate it to negative karmas, that creates something. So the way of sharp weapon is something to stop what Lama Zopa calls self-cherishing. So self-cherishing is something very hardcore in our society. So we can see we have the social media, all the stuff like that. Like Garchen Rinpoche says, the day there will be no ego grasping, there will be no more samsara. So that's exactly that. So the way of sharp weapon is that study that all of us need, because practicing the way of sharp weapon, understand the way of sharp weapon is the way to walking the path. So when we speak about the way of sharp weapon, we need to understand that, for example, in the first verse, they pray on Yamantaka. So Dharmaraksita pray Yamantaka. So why he pray Yamantaka? There is two things for that. So the first one, he is praying Yamantaka for the first reason, because Yamantaka is Manjushri. And Manjushri got the wisdom. And by wisdom, he is able to surpass death. And Yamantaka is the terminator of death. So what we need to understand is Yamantaka is a very high tantric practice. There is practitioners who do practice Yamantaka. That's a very high level of practice. But when we come back to the way of sharp weapon, so Dharmaraksita start by the Bodhisattva is the one who, like a peacock, eats poison fruit and don't stay out in the forest. So that means that if we want to be a Bodhisattva, we need to face our problem. That's very easy like that, facing our karma. Whatever karma it is, we need to face it. So we need to understand what is karma also. So a good deed of karma, that's usually helping others. But not just that, is we must understand that there is virtue we need to do with that. So, for example, if we helping others in a state of thinking, I want have money, well, you don't really helping others, you just self-sharing yourself, making the excuse of helping others. Helping others in a bodhisattva way is totally forget yourself on a story. No matter what, because the result is could be in this life, could be next life, but you will have the result. That's also what teach Dharmaraksita in the way of sharp weapon. So in the way of sharp weapon, he talk about negative karma. So there is a good example of that. When torment of extreme anger and thirst this is a way, the weapon of evil karma turning upon on me for engaging deception, thief, and misery act. For now, I will take anger and thirsty upon myself. So that means that basically when we feeling hungry, when we are thirsty and so on, when we have been deceiving others, that's the result of evil karma it is. But that's just one of the verses of the way of sharp weapon. There is 160 verses. But that's a very good example. What we need to understand is whatever we do. So, for example, if we have the intention of harming someone, that's one sort of negative karma we open. If we do the action of hurting someone, that's another sort of karma that is open. And if we do the action of harming someone, then we open what I call the Pandora box. Semtuku Rinpoche used to say that when someone harms us, we must forgive the person because they don't know what kind of karma they open. That exactly what is a way of sharp weapons. That's something that's coming back on us, and that will come back on us no matter what we do. the only way to don't be affected by karma is to become enlightened beings. So, like the Buddha Shakyamuni, like Lama Tsongkhapa, like Lama Milarepa, who are enlightened, who have bypassed karma because they have understand the true nature of mind. When we do that, we stop the karma. But till now, we are what we call sentient beings. So sentient beings, we do suffer karma. We don't have the choice, and whatever's come every day, we need to be very careful. So the way of sharp weapon also learn us to turn over our negative karma. What I mean by turn over the negative karma is when we understand what we have done wrong, we do the right action to stop that. That's the reason they say, Dharmaraksita say, we take up upon oneself to change the outcome. Of course, the outcome won't change in a day, because karma is karma. When we work with karma, if you are a good practitioner, you don't wait on any result. If we are a medium range practitioner, we got to wait on results, so it's got to be more longer. And if we are a very bad practitioner and we just working for ourselves, basically we self-cherishing, so that's got to create even more karma. And when, for example, there is another verse of the Way of Sharp Weapon, when unpleasant words reach my ears, it's a way of evoke karma turning upon on me for verbal offense, such divisive speech. From now on, I will condemn furious speech. So that means that when we speak bad to people, at some point this will come back like a boomerang. The last few years I've been talking a lot about karma because that's the key number one of the cause and effect. If you don't know what you plant, you don't know what the result you have. And also we need to understand that, that's that saying we can see everywhere, that karma never forget an address. What does that mean? That's exactly what the Way of Sharp Weapon talk about is, and also that's come from Ngakpa teaching. We're saying that karma follow you like a shadow. So let's say, for example, today you are living great and so on, you have a good life and you're living something nice. That's because of the virtue you have accumulated on past life. But right now, if you're doing negative action, so it's the virtue bank and the good karma bank is going down. And for now, you may have no obstacle and the perfect life and everything is fine. But when the virtue and the good karma run out and you have accumulated the bad karma, that's when you start to have some very bad news. So, for example, when Yama told us to do not smoke, that's because we often the being called a naga, and those beings have tendency to give cancer. So even if you don't believe or not on spiritual, you can see that if you smoke, you destroying your body, and therefore you're gonna to have the karma of having cancer and so on. That's exactly what took the Way of Sharp Weapon. Let's read another verse. When the Supreme One becomes displeased with me, it's a way of sharp weapon of evil karma turning upon on me. For renouncing the Supreme One, seeking bad companion. From now on, I will renounce negative friendships. So, this one is talking 100% about Dharma. So, sometimes we make the bad decision of having bad friends that push us away from the Dharma. That's we also creating very negative karma, because we renounce our Lama instruction, or what's in India called Guru. We renounce all of that for having fun, and yeah, for sure we're gonna to create negative karma about that. What we need to understand also that yes, negative karma is not necessarily bad, because we learn from that and we transform. We need to understand also we must transform that negative karma to, like Garcha Rinpoche, to stop the cause. If we don't stop the cause, that negative karma gonna to stop until it's supposed to stop, but more negative things we do, more the karma stay. Sometimes it can stay for very, very, very long time, not just on this life, but on next life, on next life, or next life. And we need to understand that negative karma is not a punishment. Is that something we literally put on ourselves because we don't understand the cause and effect. So the way of sharp weapon is totally that's something to help us to understand what is and what is not. What we also need to understand that the way of sharp weapon is that practice that go totally with the Bodhisattva practice. For my personal point of view, Bodhisattva practice and the way of sharp weapon go together. It's very hard to practice the Bodhisattva practice if you don't know the way of sharp weapon, because you're gonna to make mistake. Those mistakes we need to learn what that's come from and what is the antidote. And that's the great teaching of the way of sharp weapon. So what we call self-cherishing, so that's ego grasping. Garcha Rinpoche love to talk about that. Ego grasping basically that's when our mind is like ice. We're thinking of me, and at some point doing that, we damage life of others. What I mean by damage life of others, that's sometimes we got some people who crying out loud in front of us and we don't see it because we are self-obsessed. And that we need to be kind with ourselves and kind with others to understand that yes, we're damaging life of others. And like I've said, when we have opened the Pandora box of negative karma, that's extremely hard to close it, and that's extremely hard to clean it, except if you got the right tools. The right tools are the Dharma. So I hope you have enjoyed the teaching.